Hey everyone, it's May and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be breaking down all of Tarja'S lyrics about Nightwish / Tuomas. So if you haven't seen my Tuomas lyrics videos, I'm going to give the same kind of disclaimer at the beginning of this video just in case so that people don't get mad at me. Back when I first started my YouTube channel, I did a series of doing breakdown reviews of all of Tarja'S albums, and in those videos I talked about her lyrics and the other possible interpretations that they could have. So I'm in no way saying that all she wrote about was being angry about the Nightwish Tuomas drama, but I'm just going to be talking about those interpretations in this video. Her songs have, a lot of possible interpretations, and the lyrics have different themes, and it doesn't obviously have to be interpreted this way. These are just some songs that I think could have ties to the Nightwish drama. Some of them are pretty universally accepted. Others of them might be a stretch, but I just think it's fun to try to interpret things in different ways. And this was a really, really big thing that happened in her life that caused a lot of emotional distress, and she's talked about it in interviews and stuff because everyone keeps bringing it up, but it really affected her, so I don't think it is a huge stretch to say that she would weave it into different songs. I just also wanted to give a disclaimer, like I did in my Tuomas lyrics videos, that I am not trying to take anyone's side with these videos. I am simply explaining the lyrics, and no one actually knows how things went down between Nightwish and Tarja, and I'm just going to interpret the lyrics for each of them. I'm not trying to take anyone's side. And as always, everything that I say in these videos are just my opinion, and I'm no way trying to say that things are absolute truth. So anyway, now that that's out of the way, let's jump right in. So we will start with My Winter Storm, just going in order. This is the first album that she did on her own, if you don't count her Christmas album. Obviously that would not have to do with this at all. Going with this interpretation, I think a lot of the songs on this album relate to how she was in this really dark time after the split, and then how she believed in herself and got stronger and moved on. So the first song we have is I Walk Alone. I don't think a lot of people know this, but this song was actually written for her, not by her. At this point she had professional songwriters helping her. After My Winter Storm, she was involved in the writing of all of the albums, but on this one, when she was first starting out, she did not have a hand in writing all the songs. So even though she wasn't involved with the writing, I'm gonna analyze it anyway because I think that it was written with what happened in mind. It's a song addressed to her fans, which is the Winter Storm, which also includes family, friends, other people who supported her after everything went down. So I will go ahead and pull it up here. Put all your angels on the edge, keep all the roses, I'm not dead. I left a thorn under your bed, I'm never gone, go tell the world I'm still around. I didn't fly, I'm coming down. You are the wind, the only sound, whisper to my heart when hope is torn apart and no one can save you. I think that this verse is telling the world that she's still alive. She's not just going to hide under a rock for the rest of her life after what happened with Nightwish. Hold everything, I'm not dead, I'm coming back. And then the chorus is I walk alone, every step I take, I walk alone, my winter storm holding me awake, it's never gone when I walk alone. Go back to sleep forevermore, far from your fools and lock the door. They're all around and they'll make sure you don't have to see what I turn out to be, no one can help you. And then we repeat the chorus. I think that the second verse might be directed at what the haters at that time were kind of saying, they're everywhere, and that you don't have to see what I turn out to be was probably directed at Nightwish, the haters and everyone who's taking your side will make sure that you don't have to see me be successful. And then the bridge is waiting up in heaven, I was never far from you, spinning down, I felt your every move. That is directed at fans and possibly even bringing in her angel pseudonym from her time with Nightwish. She knows who her true fans are and they were always there. She just couldn't really see them. And even though she is walking alone as a solo artist, she knows that they're always there supporting her. Next we have The Rain. So with this one, some of the lyrics are kind of hard to decipher, but overall it seems to be about moving on from something and starting over, which fits with the theme here. The lyrics that I specifically wanted to pull out are, they gave gave me their wings, I spread them wide. Like whenever I read that, I just think like immediately think of Nightwish, because it's like that's how she got famous and that's how she was introduced to this genre of music and gained these fans. But now she's ready to like go off on her own and use what she's learned to do what she wants. The end of the second verse says, "What will I face? What will be mine? Fortune and fate, the other side." So it seems like she's kind of questioning what's going to come next in her life, like what's going to happen in the future and what it will hold. And then the chorus is, "I'll move on to another place from my memories unmade. I'll hold on and my heart will find you there. Love will shine free forever." So I think overall it's basically just about appreciating her past but putting her attention and focus toward the future. And then we have My Little Phoenix. So again, she didn't write this one. I think this and I Walk Alone were the ones that she didn't write, but I just see the themes in it still, like the songwriters who were working on it kind of had those themes in mind. So the lyrics are, "Gracefully she's circling higher, she has the wind beneath her wings and looks down on us. She said, robbed of my innocence, had no more time to play, I sure got my feathers burned, but I'm stronger than the flames. Here she comes, I've been waiting for so long. Here she comes, rose again from the flames, my little phoenix." So in this, I just clearly see her as the phoenix, because this image of wings that we just saw in the rain, we also have here. Like, they gave me their wings, I spread them wide. Now we have this phoenix that has the wind beneath her wings, kind of like the winter storm holding her up. Like, it's all just kind of connected in my opinion. And again, that wind would be her supportive fans, friends, family, musicians, etc. And I think when it says robbed my innocence, had no more time to play, is kind of like how everything just took off so quickly with Nightwish, and how like she had to mature so fast like in this industry and learn everything so quickly. Like it all just happened so fast. And then I sure got my feathers burned, but I'm stronger than the flames would be the Nightwish split. And then now she's coming out of the flames of everything that happened, stronger and ready to move forward. Eternity is set in her eyes, throwing sparks back at the world. That'll never die, and I think she was robbed of her innocence, had no more time to play. She's only a little girl, but she's stronger than the flames. And then we have the chorus again, and then it says, you've got to get close to the flame to see what it's made of. You've got to get close to the flame to see what you're made of. And then we have the chorus again. And I love that bridge, and to me, that's just clearly about the split. Again, you have to go through something that tests your limits to see who you really are, and what happened like changed her, but she came out stronger. And then after all of this, she is independent and she's free. Next track we have is Boy and the Ghost. You know, originally I was convinced that this had no correlation whatsoever to Nightwish and Tuomas, but now after going through all of Nightwish's lyrics, I'm like, this has to be about Tuomas, like to some extent, because I didn't realize just how much he used the dead boy image in his songs until I like actually went through all their lyrics. So yeah, I am of the opinion that this has something to do with him, but I like couldn't really figure it out. And she did help write this one, so I wonder if she just like wanted to use that image because it was, you know, an idea that she had from Nightwish. But I don't know. Like, with the lyrics of the song, I'm just not sure if the boy and the ghost are supposed to be, like, one entity. I don't know if it's supposed to be about, like, how society treated him or something, like he was always an outcast. It seems just too nice of a song for her to write about Tuomas when you look at the other songs she was writing at the time, like Enough, which we'll get to. The chorus is, all he wanted was a toy, all he needed was a gentle heart to lead him through the dark when his dreams are running wild. And it's this image of this boy wandering through these cold streets, and it's snowing and it's cold, and there's scenes through the windows that he can't be a part of. And then in the bridge it says, wake up, there's an angel in the snow, look up, it's a frightened dead boy with so much hate, such bad dreams, he could have seen the toy's the key but no one saw. I don't know, so like the best I can do is that it's about how, in her opinion, he never grew up and was like treated as an outcast. Like, if he was treated badly by society, like now that's why he has so much hate and such bad dreams. But I don't know if that really checks out because he had a happy childhood, so like, I don't know, he always talked about childhood as being like heaven, so whatever, I don't know. But it's like he never grew up and is just lost looking for someone to guide him. It's just the vibe that I got if we're trying to take this interpretation. In the Nightwish lyrics, the dead boy was like the child who lost his innocence. But I wonder if she's taking it as like he could never really move past that, and so that's like the all he wanted was a toy thing. I don't know if that made any sense. Anyway, let me know if anyone has a better interpretation of that. Next we have our Great Divide. This is probably a stretch because again the lyrics just sound way too nice, and it does seem much too early for her to have any thoughts or desires of reconciling with Nightwish, but I will pull up the lyrics here. Dark blue sea calling me, songs of waves keep me safe. Skies so deep there's no end, the moon still asleep, the bed of stars for me. It's just, I don't know, maybe this is a stretch, but like, it just seems like this first verse could be like reminiscing on her time with Nightwish, like Oceanborn with the dark blue sea and the songs of waves. Like it calls to her through her memory, and when she looks back on it, it's like these memories are still cherished, and then the moon's still asleep, the bed of stars for me. I don't know, could be something to do with Sleeping Sun, I don't know, but just like, it seems like that could be like some kind of representation of their happy memories. And then the chorus is, how can I see through your eyes my destiny? I fall apart, you bleed for me. How can I see through your eyes, our worlds collide, open your heart to close our great divide. So I think when it says, I fall apart, you bleed for me, again, if we're taking this interpretation, it's like recognizing that they're hurting too, that like no one got out of this unscathed, and like everyone's suffering, kind of like My Tears Ricochet by Taylor Swift, if you know that song. I see through your eyes our worlds collide would be like wanting to reconcile and open your heart to close our great divide. And then in the last chorus it changes to, so I just float with the tide, through the night I pass you by, open my heart to close our great divide. So I think that that's how she is going off on her own. And then the last line is how she'll have to reach into her own heart to be able to find forgiveness. All right, next we have Damned and Divine. It won't help if you wait for me, I'm a slave to the dark. I know I'm not a saint, you see, the dawn is when it starts. Feel the shadow of my oblivion, hoping mercy would show her face, on the road to your own perdition, in the coal-blackened rain. I'm not sure what to make of all of that, but it's like recognizing her own darkness, like her own fault. When it says, I'm a slave to the dark, I know I'm not a saint, you see. That second part of the first verse would be like the hopelessness she experienced, the shadow of my oblivion, like wanting mercy in like that time when the press was against her and there was like this whole media circus and everything. This is almost like a flip side of Bye Bye Beautiful, when it's like, you chose a long road but will be waiting, when she says on the road to your own perdition in the coal blackened rain. Like she sees the situation the opposite way, that like they're the ones that have all these problems and are blind. And with Diva we see that too, but like she thought that she was like escaping this thing that she didn't want to be a part of anymore. And you know, that's what happens in life, that there are situations when people just see it two completely different ways because everyone has a different perspective and are living different lives. So, and then the chorus is frozen in time, yearning forbidden wishes, damn the divine scars of my broken kisses, what will follow if tomorrow's blind, my eternal night. So again, it's like how she felt with the split, like the frozen in time when everything stopped. And damned and divine, I think, could mean that she's happy that she's free, but also that they like left a mark on her reputation. And then the second verse is, as the wind takes me away from you before the morning light, my sins are fading into view, I'm so weary deep inside. It's about the split, like as the wind takes me away from you, as I'm moving on. She's seeing everything that went wrong and her faults and is just so tired of everything. And then we repeat. It does change a bit when it says, on the road to your own perdition, I may see you again. Again, that really echoes Bye Bye Beautiful there. And then we have Calling Grace, which I know I kind of went into this one a little bit more maybe in my Winter Storm video, which literally feels like forever ago that I filmed that. But anyway, this one just really, really speaks to me, like fitting into everything else on the album. In the dark captured in his frozen heart, colors fade into gray. She tried so hard, every word was torn apart. Shot her down with poison darts. Her tears made her swim beneath the sea. She's free. Calling grace, she'll never fall again. Love remains in her. Softly, her inner voice has learned to speak, following her dreams. Her tears made her swim beneath the sea. She's free. Calling grace, she'll never fall again. Love remains in her. It's such like a peaceful song, and the lyrics are pretty self-explanatory, but essentially the first verse there is the split. and how she tried to defend herself afterward. Like, she tried so hard, every word was torn apart, shot her down with poison darts would be like everyone else's hate and words that were just coming at her from all sides, and how it just completely broke her down. But she found the strength within herself, and she found strength that she didn't even know that she had, and she now has the freedom to follow her dreams and do what she wants with her life. We get that same sense of freedom that I saw in My Little Phoenix too. All right, and now are we ready for the tea? We have the classic diss track Enough, which is so clearly directed at Tuomas. Like I said, I'm not trying to proclaim absolute truth here, but this is one that's like everyone kind of recognizes that. So I would say it was the most blatant diss track until we had Diva, which honestly is even more blatant, I think. This, to me, is directed specifically at Tuomas, not the band. Let's just get into it, shall we? Ego, selfish prima donna, dancing in your poison cage, thinking that your conscience clearer if you drink your dreams away. Feed your anger to the devil in your self-built wishing well. Take a swim in muddy waters, all that dirt will leave a trail. So, we have a little reference to Escapist here with the cage, because it's like Nightingale, a golden cage in that song. So she's saying that he is an ego, selfish prima donna who is dancing in this cage that he has made for himself. In Escapist, he was saying that like he is trapped in reality with that. But I think when she says that he's dancing in his poison cage, I think that she's saying that he's so self-absorbed that he's just cut off from the rest of the world by his own doing. And it also hints at his use of alcohol to cope with emotions and problems. And it's just basically throwing back the same sort of tone that he took toward her in the open letter, and basically saying that he's actually the diva with these lines in the first verse there. And then the chorus is, had enough symphonies of sorrow, be so brave and weep me away, a masterpiece of treachery. So this is taking like a huge dig at the songs that he writes. All of his, you know, big epic songs. She's like, I'm so over it. Basically saying that all those epic songs he writes are nothing more than self-pity that he wants other people to just wallow in with him. And masterpiece of treachery could potentially refer to Dark Passion Play, but I don't know. Like, it's unclear what that could be. Like, it could be Dark Passion Play, it could have been their last concert, it could have been the open letter. Is it all the music they've ever done together? And then verse 2, built a wall and made me crumble just because I am in love. Don't you lie. That's not right. Sorry, Genius is failing me. It's don't you cry, I think. I'm pretty sure Genius has the wrong lyrics. It sounds like don't you cry, look at all those dolls and toys that you have got. Smash the mirror of the version, keep the dagger that you made. Mirror, mirror, is there someone who can make your day today? Anyway, so again, it's like saying that he was the problem and that he caused the divide between them, like built a wall and made me crumble. Like, because he was saying that she isolated herself from them with Marcello, and like that's why everything deteriorated, but she's saying no, like he's the one who cut himself off, and then it just went downhill from there because she was in love with Marcello and not him. I'm not saying I believe either one of them, by the way. I'm not trying to take anyone's side here. Yeah, I'm not really sure why Genius had like the wrong lyrics there. I thought the point of it was like, don't cry because I'm gone. Look at all the like material objects you have or something like that. And saying don't cry is like talking to a child, kind of. Like you have all these material objects and the fans who believe your side of the story. And then the bridge is, kept my thoughts buried in a box. When it's shut, I still kept it locked. You drew a play written with my blood, went ahead just to feed the lot. So I think it's saying that like she kept quiet about kind of the bad experiences that she had with them or the bad things that they did, but they just went ahead and sold her out to the world. And then Dark Passion Play is probably what she's referring to with the play because of the diss tracks that they put on there. And I think feed the lot is kind of just like, well, you went ahead and did all this to like give all the fans the drama that they wanted. All right, moving on to What Lies Beneath. I'd say like there's kind of less and less songs on each album that relate to it. I think My Winter Storm kind of had the most. And obviously, like I said, these songs could have a lot of other interpretations, which I went over in the previous videos that I did, but I just think it's kind of fun to try to interpret it this way too. So we start out with Antrim of Death, Two-Face Drama Rebellion, Are You the Joker, King or Queen? Place your cards as they're coming, came to win, lost everything. Gambling riders pull the strings, pull them tighter, let them in. So if we're going with this interpretation, I think this could be potentially referring to Tuomas because it seems like it's about someone who you can never really tell how they're going to be feeling or like what you're going to get that day with them. Like she could never tell how he was going to react or how his moods were going to change. Then the chorus is, come and play another day, throw your mask away. I don't care what you say because your lovely words decay. Come and play another day, welcome to the anteroom of death. So I wonder if your lovely words decay is supposed to be about his lyrics. And on Song Meaning, someone pointed out that an anteroom is like a public space sort of where guests would come in. They were saying that it could be like a reference to how their drama was like on display for everyone to see. Again, like this definitely could be a stretch, but like someone else thinks that it could be about that, and I don't know. I'm just gonna skip over to the parts that I specifically wanted to pull out here. Blinded in the dark, I'm touching the scars of tainted hearts. If you're searching, learn to see honesty is all you need. Take a bow, finally. I think that the tainted hearts could be directed at Nightwish because it's like these people that she thought were her friends did this terrible thing that really hurt her, and I think that take a bow finally would be directed at Tuomas, like take a bow after everything you did. And then we have Until My Last Breath, which I really do think is related. Cannot cry it loud enough, I'm giving up this ghost. How can I still justify when you deny my voice? In this nothing I am not allowed, I just follow alone. Words as weapons without a sound, echoes dying unborn. So she's basically saying like, I'm saying this loud and clear, I am done with this part of my past and I'm moving on. That would be the ghost. And I think she's trying to say like, how can I keep trying to explain myself and my side of the story when you're not letting me speak, like you're not believing me or validating me, directed at Nightwish, but also the fans that like wouldn't see her side, and basically just saying that she's on her own and can follow her own path now. The words as weapons without a sound is definitely the words in the letter, and echoes dying unborn could maybe just be like what they could have been if they hadn't kicked her out. Like, I know that she was planning on leaving anyway, but it's like how things could have been different. And then the chorus is, until my last breath, you'll never know until you feel the silence when I'm gone. Now it's vanishing, everything what we might have been. Only now you praise, call my name that you won't see again. So I think it's like basically saying that she's dead to them. And then the second verse is, who can change this memory? Inside it needs to burn. Worshipped by the enemy, the guilty take their turn. Watching as it's disappearing, shadows all that remain. Wishes slowly crossing over in this parade of pain. So I think the who can change this memory inside it needs to burn is basically saying that she needs to process what happened while also accepting that it can't be changed. And then it's basically saying that she's watching all their good memories disappear and all that's left are shadows, like the bad times. And then we have Little Lies. This is another one that I have a rather strong opinion about. Take my faith with an open hand and warm embrace, my confidant. Use my words, take the good away and leave the worst to sell me out. I just think taken in this context, it really works because it's like saying that with the open letter, like Tuomas took a lot of things out of context and left out all the good parts and put her faults under a magnifying glass to sell her out to the world. And then the chorus is, little lies, making up tragedies. Nothing is what it seems, who cares what is real? Little lies, only to entertain. The message is all the same to those who believe, which is about how the fans interpreted it. Like it's all these like half-truths. People just want drama, they want a story, and so they don't care if it's true, they don't care if it's real, they'll take it and they'll run with it, and they're never going to try to see another side of it. Feed the flames, empty wishes with no room to blame my sacrifice. Deep inside there is nothing left to stand behind but little lies. So feed the flames again is like just making the drama worse, and I think that she's saying that Tuomas has built like this flimsy story and that that's all he has to stand behind, like are these little lies that he's told. And then we have Dark Star. I'm not entirely convinced that this is about Tuomas, but I mean it could be. Burning out in the distance, you're falling, starting to fade. Light is condemned to be tied down by gravity close to the end. Do you still remember before the weight that pulled you under dared you to rise? Where are you now? Are you proud of the life you wasted wearing the crown of illusion you created? You'll never know what it feels like to shine. You're the master in your own mind, but a slave to all. You are a dark star. I think that if we are taking it in this context, it's about like how Tuomas has let the music industry get to him and like kind of put his light out, and he's like not who he used to be. The second verse is, empty is never enough, you keep clawing for what you can't reach, smothering space filled without any grace, and I can't breathe. Nothing lasts forever, even the stars will lose their luster, returning to dust. And so I think it's about how he's never satisfied and how she felt kind of suffocated in the band, but nothing lasts forever would be like money, fame, and all of that. Those are the only ones I saw as potentially relating from What Lies Beneath, and then from Colors in the Dark. I am not actually going to read the lyrics because we've got to speed this up a little bit. But 500 Letters I know is about a stalker situation that she dealt with, but it still gives me Tuomas vibes. Like, hear me out on this one, okay? Because she knew the songs were about her, and I will link that down below, the proof I have for that, but at one point she did mention that she did know that. So I think that it could be like 500 letters, like all the songs that he wrote about her. Oh, it started out as like kind of fun, and then it was like, okay, like this isn't fun anymore. Like then it was like creepy or something. Like she knew when she was singing them that they were about her, but she couldn't tell anyone. It's like the 500 letters, words like scars no one can see. And then the bridge sounds suspiciously like part of The Poet and the Pendulum, which other people have pointed out before. They found the final letter lying by his side. A smile was on his face, cold as ice. One last message written only for me. Now you won't forget. I'll see you in your dreams. Compared to today in the year of our Lord 2005, Tuomas was called from the cares of the world. He stopped crying at the end of each beautiful day. The music he wrote had been too long without silence. He was found naked and dead with a smile in his face, a pen, and 1,000 pages of erased text. It just sounds kind of similar, like just saying, just pointing it out. And then we have Never Enough, I do believe is directed at the fans of Nightwish who are just stuck on wanting her back in the band. And basically like the people who always comment like, go back to Nightwish. Because it's not fun for her or them when people comment that on either side, because they've both moved on and are doing their own thing. But it just comes down to the fact that from what we know, like she wasn't happy in the band. Like it just wasn't working out. And all of these certain fans clearly care about is how the music sounded. They were never satisfied. They always wanted more from her. Life in bloom, the sweetest season. The warm embrace gave me the meaning. Another time across to carry. Cruel facade, imaginary, I don't belong. There's no going back to what we used to be. There's no room for us, no place for me. Never enough, repeated. I gave it all, you still want more. The first couple lines there, like life in bloom, the sweetest season, warm embrace gave me the meaning, is like remembering good times with them, but she doesn't belong there anymore. Like I said, she's doing her own thing now, and so are they. And then saying like, I gave it my everything, but it wasn't enough for you. Directed at the fans. A child's game, the search for reason, a coldest day, I stopped believing. Another war, my endless laughter, a storyline is all they're after, I don't belong. So I think that's saying that trying to make sense of everything for her after the split was a child's game. Like trying to find the reason in it was completely futile. And she said in an interview once that that kind of caused her to lose her faith in humanity for a while. So I'd say that that's probably what the coldest day when I stopped believing referred to. And the storyline is all they're after is, again, like I said when I was talking about Little Lies, it's those fans that just wanted to feed off the drama, like they just wanted a story, but she can move past that now. Okay, I have two that I wanted to talk about from the shadow self. Obviously Diva and Love to Hate, which we'll do first. I forgot about this one actually when I was talking about The Boy and the Ghost. I feel like this actually kind of connects thematically. Made of stone behind the walls, a heart afraid of breaking, shades of fear stained your life, a child afraid of waking, numb within, sadness won't find you. No return, no way home, you're burning all the bridges. Stories told, I've read your book where anger writes the pages. Search within the empty words, the answers you'll find at the end. I think that, again, this is a very specific interpretation, and Tarja herself said that this song is about people in general who, you know, put all their energy toward hating on what others are doing instead of trying to find the good in their lives. And I do believe that, like, of course, but I also just think that it is partially directed at Tuomas. Saying a heart afraid of breaking and a child afraid of waking really makes me think of that, like how he didn't want to grow up and lose his innocence and and how from enough, like how she hinted at how he would numb emotions with alcohol, like look for ways to numb like negative feelings. I think that that all kind of connects here, like when it says numb within, the sadness won't find you. Like if you just numb yourself, then you can't feel the bad things, but you also can't feel the good things, like love. And then I've read your book Where Anger Writes the Pages. I think we know what book that's referring to. If you don't know, it's Once Upon a Nightwish, which she and Marcello tried to sue the band over. Who do you think you are? I gave you the stars, you made them fall from the sky, so this is my goodbye. That's some tea right there. Again, kind of self-explanatory, but like basically saying like, who do you think you are to do that to me after all of the time and effort that I gave you and the friendship that we had and the good times we had? Like, how dare you kick me out that way, like so publicly, and like making me look like this bitch to the whole world. Swimming in the scarlet rain far away, embracing 1,000 blades far away, far away. Break the cage, run against the flames, distrust and bitterness, it dies today. Lose your rage, save what still remains, despair and loneliness, why you love to hate. Wash the pain, time in vain, thinking of tomorrow. Dust of shame, no more rain, brush away my sorrow. So swimming in the scarlet rain and embracing 1,000 blades are images of anger, and she's saying far away, like it's far away from her. I think it also could be saying that if he didn't have that anger, he would have to face the despair and loneliness, and that's why he puts his energy into that anger and hatred. All right, everyone ready for the real tea with Diva. So like I said earlier, I think this one is now probably the most blatant diss track, and she said that she had written a couple songs for the Shadow Self a while ago, like back when she was writing My Winter Storm, I think, but she hadn't used them yet, so I definitely think it's possible that this song was one that she had written when everything was still fresh and that she decided to pull out later just for fun. I do think though, like when she like went back to work on it for this album, it gives a sense of like looking back on everything with a different perspective, so I'm sure that she did tweak it. We can laugh at it now. I don't mind all the burning daggers, piercing me, shaping me, turning the blade on you. I revealed my escape, sweetest mutiny ship was sinking deeper and deeper and deeper on top of you. So basically saying like she can laugh at the whole situation now and she doesn't mind all of the cruel words that at the end of the day ended up saying more about him than her. And then her escape was saying that she wanted to leave after the next album, and in her opinion everything was like deteriorating within the band and going downhill, not in like a success monetary popularity way, but like within the band, like how things were being handled, I think. Oh, how does it feel now when there's no way out? You married your own hell, couldn't get out of your own mind. Now I have the key out of the downward spiraling conspiracy. Just look at me, just look at Diva. So obviously that is a direct reference to the open letter when he called her a diva, but she wants to take back that word as like a positive word. In the classical singing world, it's like a positive thing, and she wants to like turn that around for herself. I think that that pre-chorus there is kind of referencing how Tuomas has such a big imagination, and that's how he comes up with a lot of his song lyrics, but we also get the sense that it sometimes goes too far and it harms him in some ways, like avoiding reality in the song Escapist. So I think that's what she's referring to here, like he couldn't get out of his own mind, like it became harmful. I just kind of went through that backwards, but anyway. When you chiseled your scene, so delusional almost got me. Started to question my sanity because of you. I've been tasting the salt, couldn't stand all the rats on board. I walked down the plank as the curtains fell down on you. So we kind of have a ship metaphor here, but I think it's kind of describing how things were going downhill in the band, again, like within the band. The way of how people were treating each other, how things were being handled, in a way that made her wonder if she was going crazy. Again, I don't know what happened, like I have no clue, so like maybe it was just like she didn't feel like her voice was being heard or something like that. And walking down the plank is referring to her firing, like she was kicked off the boat in the metaphor that she's using. It's just like this image of everyone like sneering and laughing behind her as she's walking to her demise in the water, but it's actually how she got free, going back to all the songs on My Winter Storm. Anyway, I think that overall it's just like her looking back on what happened with a different perspective, almost in a humorous way. Like she's able to kind of put some fun spins on it, and she like wears like the crown when she sings live. Not that I've ever seen her live, but I've seen the videos. And like it's just kind of like she's able to make light of it and is trying to turn diva into something that she can make light of and something that's like a positive word. So yeah, and then the only other song I wanted to touch on was Shadowplay from In the Raw. I totally did the entire breakdown of it in my album breakdown of In the Raw because it's not just about Nightwish, it's essentially the story of her life. That's why I wasn't gonna save it for this video because it's like it was all kind of intertwined, but I'll just go over it again just in case you didn't see that. Looking at the mirror, asking questions with old weary eyes, once a girl who had no name, dressed as an angel in disguise. From the corner of her bedroom, light illuminates, crawling shadows cut out silhouettes. With the darkness, a dancing marionette. So it's like her trying to write this album. She had a really hard time coming up with the lyrics. She was once a nobody, someone who wasn't famous, just trying to make her voice work with Nightwish when it was all new and really hard. She felt like she was just putting on this disguise for the world. With the darkness, the dancing marionette is like how she just went along with everything and people told her what to do and she went along with it. She was a dancing marionette with the darkness, which was Nightwish. Smiled away with such a beauty never seen before, drowned by rain of thorns and petals falling at her curtain call. This mortal coil year after year recall the sad charade, like a shadow play we can't forget, in the darkness a crying marionette. So this is like how fans were so enchanted by her and loved her and the band, and I think the petals is all the praise and the thorns were maybe people who were more critical or like early on like hate that she probably got, and then the sad charade would be the split and everything that went down, and we have the metaphor weaving through of the shadow play, like the cutout silhouettes. So now it is moving on to a different part of the shadow play, a new chapter where she is the crying marionette, which is I think a reference to when she cried at the press conference about everything. I'm just gonna skip over the chorus because it's not really relevant, but the second verse is about how she kind of rose up from it. Alone, imprisoned by the echoes of the empty hall, she made a deal with the enemy and let her fences fall. From the dust she built a door to frame new memories, once a shadow, dancing with her fears, lights the darkness, now the puppeteer. So I just think that that's this beautiful image of how she came into her own and was once, you know, the one being controlled, the marionette, and is now the puppeteer. Like she's the one who's in control of her own life. And going back to the beginning there, like the echoes of the empty hall would be like the echoes of what happened. And I'm not really sure, I think I said this in the previous video, I still don't know what made a deal with the enemy is. Like, is it taking it from Nightwish's perspective and saying that she went with Marcello and not them? I don't know. And then from the dust, she built a door to frame new memories. Like that just kind of relates back to some of the lines on My Winter Storm saying like she rose from the dust, the ashes, the flames, whatever it was, like everything that happened with the split. Like she was able to rise from that and pave her own way. So that was probably really redundant if you already saw that video, but anyway, that is all. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you being with me on this whole journey, and I can't believe we've come to the end of it. Now, I've been wanting to film these videos for so long, and it took me a lot of time to go through everything, so thank you guys so much for being here. Please give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and as always, I would love to hear what you have to say in the comments if you have your own interpretations of any of these songs, especially Boy and the Ghost. I still cannot hack that one. I'd appreciate any input, but anyway, yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.